Today I'm here at Jen's and we are going to talk about apocalyptic scenarios.
Makes me feel a bit anxious.
I mean, we're already living in one, so it's fine.
Someone's been like, which ones do you want to live in? I'm like,
none of them. We both really like apocalyptic stories,
Yeah,
so I figured this would be a fun one to discuss. So this is going to be a mix of the ones that we think are maybe not that bad, but also the ones that are our favourite ones to read about.
Yeah, I love it. Sana was talking to me about this before and I'm just like, why? No, it's like she's normalising it and I'm like, oh god, no, don't. It's fun to do. Lola is here, by the way, as well. I think she's got the hiccups.
So cute!
You got the hiccups?
While I was doing some research, one of the things I found, which I found quite interesting, was about popularity of apocalyptic fiction, and apparently it was the 50s, the 80s, and now.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's related to.
After the First World War, threat of nuclear power, and now, well, the world that we live in.
Yeah.
I've made notes in my head.
So I think we're just gonna run through some different books. It's only book based, not film based, because otherwise we'd be here for forever. And just talk through the different worlds and how we feel about them.
Okay, that sounds good. I would not like to live in The Girl with All the Gifts. I can't handle it. Zombies, no. But can we also just say that I would be dead? I am dead.
So
Lola is gone too. She's also dead. Bye.
Oh. I put that one on my list as my absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So first of all, no zombies.
No
zombies. Because it's not. What I loved about Station 11 is that the people living in that were like, at least there weren't any zombies. So when the virus was gone, everything was semi-fine.
Station 11 is one that I could. I mean, there's travelling theatre.
Yeah.
It's very sophisticated. Get me there. I can
No
do it.
internet though.
It's alright. That's okay. It's alright. In the grand scheme of the world ending, I think I can cope without the internet. Hang on.
What do you want? Went through my GoodReads and sort of went through every apocalyptic book I've ever read. How I Live Now?
I read that a very long time ago. That's mega awesome.
It's very realistic because it is very much like a bomb is set off in London and then slowly all supplies start dwindling, and so you're basically just living in, let's say, England, but you don't have any transportation, you don't have any electricity, and people start dying from like breaking an ankle. So that is one where I'm like, that is just the world but extra terrible.
Yeah, and I think similar to that, there's Karen Thompson Walker's The Age of Miracles, where there's the slowing, so the days just start getting longer, and then you slowly start seeing the effects of that. So birds fall out of the sky, people can't sleep, the government has to make everyone live on clock time, because if they live with extended days, then all the money systems will mess up. It's really interesting. That slow, it's literally like a slow burning, but that the slow burn where you can see the knock-on effects of everything.
Yeah, it's not one really day and everyone's a zombie.
Exactly.
Those are the ones where I'm like, okay, at least you've got some time to grab a go bag and get some supplies. While in other ones, if you happen to be the wrong time, the wrong place, then you're just screwed.
Yeah. If the world is ending, let us at least make a list.
I need to fly to my cabin in Scotland. Day of the Triffids is an absolute fave of mine, and if you haven't read it, it is the one where everyone becomes blind because of a meteor shower, and then there's these plants that everyone has that can like sting you and kill you, but if you let them be unleashed, they will slowly start like walking around the streets, and they start growing, and they totally get out of control. And what happens is, because everyone's blind and lots of people die, London sort of empties out and everyone goes to the countryside. And again, it's one where like there's a lot of panic in the first couple of days, but after that you're sort of fine. Like, it's not the worst. I mean, it's not great.
No, but I think it's the fear of other people.
That's the thing. That's very often, if there's no zombies, the scariest thing is what happens when people lose the plot.
Yeah.
I've just been watching The Mist on Netflix. The new series. It's not great.
Not great as in it's scaring you, or not great as in it's bad?
It's bad. But one of the things they say, you're always 9 meals from anarchy. Like, if people miss 9 meals, things start going wrong. Like, people start killing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on the list of requirements, I was like, no regimes, please.
No regimes. No.
At least if there is chaos, you might be able to sort of survive. But if there is a government in place that is controlling everything, it's different, because you might be able to stay alive.
Yeah.
But you're not able to get out.
That's the step after chaos, generally, though, isn't it? Yeah. So then you get things like The Giver by Lois Lowry.
Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale. I still haven't finished watching the TV adaptation of that.
Is it just too much?
It's yeah. Yeah. Is the answer to that.
I Am Legend, I
haven't seen that or read that, but isn't that zombies too?
More like zombies in the film, but more like vampires.
Oh yeah, okay.
In the book, and it's very much like, hi, you're the last person left alive. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. What do you do now?
Yeah.
And it's weird because then you suddenly have all the supplies in the world. And also in that one, it's like he can just go out during the day. Mm-hmm. So you can almost live a normal life as long as you stick to your own rules. But then you're by yourself. Not great.
No.
It's literally like...
Isn't he just drunk most of the time?
Yeah, he basically just like, will just get drunk in the evening and like smash his glass on the wall, and it's ladies outside going, come outside, I promise we won't hurt you.
But I guess there's something that's interesting to think about is just who would you be if we weren't dead.
Yeah.
If we weren't dead.
How would you
Well, I guess we all have this idea of how we would be.
Yeah.
We would be part of the rebellion. We would be part of this other kind of thing. I don't know.
No, I would probably not.
I mean, I love rules. I don't know, and I think it's that unknown. You have to really reevaluate yourself.
See, I need to do some proper training if I want to be able to, like, you know, outrun some zombies.
Yeah, also, what is your skill? You know, like, if you have to...
See, I want to do a wilderness survival course. I think my logistical insight, so I think logic would be the one. Mm-hmm. But that, I mean, don't know how far that's gonna get you.
Yeah.
I need more, and I can make some clothes maybe.
Yeah.
I could do some embroidery.
Everyone needs a storyteller, right? I mean, that's...
I feel like maybe I could like stitch up wounds or something.
Yeah. My role would be the one of the storyteller who retells the past. And those actually do tend to exist in post-apocalyptic books. Yes. In things like The Beauty. Mm-hmm. They're like, literally, it's a storyteller and it's their job to record what's happened. But then you get things like in 1984 where a storyteller's job is to control the narrative. Right. And to rewrite the history. And I don't want that job. Yeah. In general, it's just a terrifying thought, especially with everything that's happening in the world at the moment. I think that dystopian and apocalyptic fiction, it has taken off, as you say. Like 1984 was the bestseller, and Handmaid's Tale, because of the TV show, is now back up there.
Have you read Vivian versus
The Apocalypse?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Lola
has.
She's sad.
She's sad about it. But I know what it's about. It's a religious cult, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. That is also one where it's not that far away from where we are at right now, except that there's this big religious cult that is slowly taking over. Mm. But when you look at it, it is basically something in the book, they talk about it as well. It's like, it's really recent development. Yeah. So you can imagine that it starts like right now, and then 5 years from now, that's where you end up. Yeah. And that's also one where it just becomes like other people become the danger, if that makes sense. What apocalyptic scenarios do you want to see more of? What do you like reading about? What do you want to see more of? In fiction.
I want more of the realist stuff. Mm-hmm. I want more things like, well, The Handmaid's Tale, I think it's quite realist. I want more like that. I want more like Never Let Me Go. Oh my goodness, Never Let Me Go.
Oh, that was on my list as well, where it's, definitely. And it seems like the world is functioning fairly well, and a lot of people don't even know that they're living in a...
It's not really, it's not a post-apocalyptic book, but it is a dystopian book where genetics has just been taken so far. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where if you try and connect the dots between now and how we get there, and actually where is the point that you stop.
And the ethics
it's difficult.
It's like, is it fine to do this? Well, if it's fine to do this, then is it fine to do this? And you like keep going further with that.
I find it interesting because I think that's something that I have a vested personal interest in stuff like IVF, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of issues with that, and then also with genetics and what you can do these days. I think that it's something that people have very strong feelings about one way or another.
Yeah, definitely.
And you could never really reach a point where everyone agrees that yes, this is okay. It's such a complicated issue.
And I feel like it's going to be quite scary because it's the people making the laws that will determine how far we'll go.
But that's where you get into that territory that we were talking about as to what is acceptable and who is classed as human and whose life is worth saving and protecting, and if you can go far enough where, say, things like disability and disfigurement are erased, and people choose not to use scientific methods to ensure that children don't have those things at birth, do you get something like the Crysalids? Yeah, which is my favourite John Wyndham book. Which is about anyone who has any kind of bodily difference is on the outskirts of society, basically living in the forests away from the cities because they are deemed too other. I would like more of that, but that's probably quite selfish. I would love more of that because you know, feel like you're seeing yourself in a book.
Yeah.
Everyone wants more of that. And more things like The Age of Miracles. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if she's got another book coming out, actually. I have to look that up. I haven't seen anything knocking around.
I really want more desert, or like think Mad Max, think Waterworld. That sort of, the world has completely changed.
Yeah.
And how do people live now?
Something that
I like it when the earth has completely like changed and people have had to adjust to that. I've read a lot of...
loves it when things explode.
I mean, it's not great, but if you're just reading about it, it's fine.
I know.
Yeah, so I think I'd like to see more of that. And then I really like the sort of normal real life setting, but one thing is slightly different.
Yeah. Well, something like the Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan, where it's a flooded world, so there are damplings and land dwellers, and they do not get on with each other. So if you are from the sea or from the land, no,
that's great.
Yeah. So people who are damplings have to travel from small landmass to small landmass to try and trade because they can't cope on their own.
All right, that was our dystopian / apocalyptic chat. I love talking about this. I could talk about this forever, and I will in more episodes of the Another World book
until the world ends.
I'll put links to a lot of the things we talked about in the description. If there's anything you missed, let me know in a comment and I will let you know. Go check out Jen's channel. We made a video there as well. Get your book out. Come on.
Someone's like, you have to self-promo. Where is
it's the rules.
It's buried.
Ooh, so
there we go.
Jen has a new book out soon.
And the first one is actually a dystopian, isn't it? It is.
Yes.
The first short story in
It's very Black Mirror.
Yeah, thanks. It's about a world where love has run out, basically, and there are heart factories, and you have to purchase hearts.
It's so creepy.
Once your heart gets broken.
I love that. So it's called The Beginning of the World. I keep getting it, like I kept trying to do the hashtag and I just mix up the whole title.
The hashtag is the beginning of the world.
Yeah.
The whole title is the beginning of the world in the middle of the night.
Nice.
I am going to love it when people go into bookshops and go, hey, I've read about this book, it's called The Beginning of the End of the...
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already doing that, so.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much for being on my channel and chatting about this really cheerful topic.
That's fine.
If you have any favourite scenarios, let us know. If there's any that you think you might thrive in or any that you think you would absolutely not be able to handle.
To be honest, if people feel like they're going to thrive, I worry about these people.
Do we?